Hey everybody, this is Peter with Cooking with Peter. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to spend 2 or 3 weeks over in Spain and Italy, and I learned some fantastic ways to make paella. And today, I'm going to share the ways to make paella with you. We're going to go step by step. Okay, I'm going to go over the ingredients we're going to be using for our paella today. And by the way, this is going to be a chicken and sausage paella. And let me go through the ingredients with you right now. Over here we have about 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs cut up into bite-sized pieces. Here we have about 1.5 pounds of, this is linguiça. You can use any type of hard Spanish sausage you want to use, and you're going to be cutting those into about 1/2-inch pieces like you see here. If you can't find real Spanish sausage, you could implement something like a Eckrich or something like that that you can find in the American stores, but go to a Latino store and you'll be able to find these ingredients pretty easily. We have canned tomatoes, and also I want to talk to you about this particular green bean. This is a flat green bean. I never saw those before until I was over in Spain, and I asked one of our friends, what is that? And he said it's a flat green bean. In the States, it's referred to as Italian style, and that's the type of green bean you want to be using. We're also going to have saffron. This is one of the most expensive spices you can ever see. It costs about $12 per gram, and I buy it at Costco, and this is the type of packaging that it comes in. Here's the bottle, and it sits right here. So this bottle at Costco is about 12 bucks, and that's about the best price I've ever seen on genuine Spanish saffron. It's from La Mancha. Then we have some garlic powder, about 1/2 teaspoon. We're going to be using a teaspoon of smoked paprika. The reason we're using smoked paprika is because most of the paellas in Spain are cooked over a wood burning stove. We're not doing that today, so I do want a bit of the smokiness that the smoked paella is going to bring us. Then we're going to be using arborio rice. This is not the type of rice they typically use in Spain for paella, but the type of rice they would use for paella is called bomba rice, and that's very expensive, about $8 per pound over in the US. So I'm going to be using arborio. Arborio rice is typically what we use to make risotto in Italian cooking, and I'm going to show you the secret as we get on down the recipe of how to use the arborio rice and have perfect results. We have back here some chopped onion and peppers. I just use the frozen type, it comes in a bag from your grocery store, already cut, already ready to go. And this is the type that I'm using today. We also have 4 cups of chicken stock. Now, as you all know, I use this Better Than Bouillon chicken stock. It works great for me, and I really enjoy using it. It's super easy. We have 4 cups of hot water, and I want you to see the saffron that's sitting inside of the water. So the saffron is a must whenever you're making paella, because the saffron is going to give the broth a little bit of a yellowish color. It's also going to give it a very unique flavor that is going to be totally missing if you don't use the saffron. So remember, use the saffron when making the paella. Okay, I'm going to get the pan going. We're going to start cooking, and we'll be right back. Okay, the first step is to turn your oven on to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So the oven needs to be heating up as we're doing this first part. That's super important because this is going to go fairly quickly. I'm just going to be adding some canola oil, olive oil, whatever type of oil you want to add in here. Doesn't matter too much. Now, I'm going to be starting to brown the chicken. Again, this is boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I've chopped them into bite-sized pieces. I've used about 1.5 pounds of the boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We're going to let this brown. It'll take me about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to the next step. Okay guys, I'm ready to take the chicken out of the pan. As you can see, the chicken has not cooked all the way through. I'm just trying to get some color on the chicken. That's all I'm trying to do. So I have a clean bowl here, and I'm just going to take the chicken out for now. Again, I did not cook the chicken all the way through. This is going to go into the oven very soon, and that is where it's going to finish the cook. But as you can see, we're getting some good color on the chicken, and that's what I'm after with this particular step. The next step we're going to be using is cooking the sausages, and they're right here, and this is going to let out a lot of nice flavor into the paella. And again, we're just going to be browning these a little bit just until they render, which means let out some of the grease and oil that they have in the sausage. So we'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes with this one. Okay, our sausages have cooked, and again, the sausages were already cooked. I was just trying to get some more color on the sausages and to have the sausages release some of their fat and grease content, which you can see in the pan. It has done a pretty good job of that. So again, I want to talk to you about these sausages, and the type of sausage you use is really important. So if you have a Latino market in your area, go over there and pick up some chorizo. You don't want a Mexican style of chorizo, you want a Spanish style. Now this happens to be a linguiça, which is a Portuguese sausage, but it's really important, the ingredients that you use in paella. So, but use what you can. Now I'm ready to add these peppers and onions, and I'm going to put these in here just until they get a little warmth and heat on them. It's not going to take very long. Just until they get a little translucent. It won't take long at all. I'm going to go ahead and put in the Spanish paprika. This is a smoked paprika. I'm putting that in now because I want the spice to heat up and to bloom a little bit. So also I have here, that's 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. This is half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Boy, I can really smell that smoke coming off of that paprika. It smells fantastic. But you just want to stir the spices up a little bit where it's heating them, and they will get with that oil, and they will really bloom and give you a lot more flavor than if you just simply dump them in on their own. Now here I have just a can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to use half right now into here. I'll use the other part later. But just for now, I'm going to be putting in about half, a little more. There we go, it's better. And I'll let this all come together. And now the spices are all blending with the tomatoes and the olives. I'm sorry, the tomatoes and the peppers and the onions. And you can see how that's all coming together. Now it's time to put in the rice. So this is arborio rice, which I said a few minutes ago. It's typically used in America and Italy for making risotto. So we're pouring that in, and I'm going to let the rice just kind of mix in with the tomatoes, the onions, the peppers, the spices. Just mix this all up without the broth first. Let it get a little toasty. That's what I'm after. It's just to toast the arborio rice just a little bit first. Now I'm going to put in about half a can of these Italian style green beans. So I'll just dump those in. Just like that. It's looking really fantastic. All the rice is getting toasted. Now it's time to be pouring in the stock. So here I have the broth stock. You can even use water, but why not add more flavor? So I'm just using 4 cups of chicken broth, and also you can see again the saffron has been sitting in there. I'm just going to pour that into the rice mixture like you're seeing. Now quickly I'm going to put in the chicken with all the juices back in, Just kind of mix it around like that. Make sure you put all the juices from the chicken back in. Now I'll put in the sausages. Again, put all the fat, all the juices from the sausages back in, just like that. And be sure to get all those flavors out of that bowl. Okay, now I'm going to pour in and kind of just move around the tomatoes, like you're seeing here. I'm going to also pour in the other part of the green beans. This is an Italian style green bean. They just call it a flat green bean over in Spain. And it really does a great job of making this come together. Now, here's the trick to our using the arborio rice. Mix everything together like you're seeing here, and then put the spoon down and leave it alone. Don't stir the arborio rice. The arborio rice will become creamy if you do, and that's not the texture that we're after with the paella. We want it to be not creamy. So if you just let it sit just like this, don't touch it, don't stir it around very much, and right now we're going to move the paella over to the oven, which we preheated at 400 degrees. So we're going to slide this in. It's going to now heat in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes, and then we're going to come back, finish this up, and show you the great result of our paella. Okay, everybody, we're coming into our last step, and the paella is now ready in the oven. So I'm going to go over to the oven and grab the paella and bring it out for you. And remember to use pot holders because that's going to be super hot. And here we go. We're going to come up here. The beautiful paella set now. Let me share with you that the paella itself needs to rest here for about 5 minutes or so. And you can see that it's looking a little liquidy now, but as it rests, those liquids are going to soak up into that rice. So let it set for about 5 minutes or so. After you've added the olives, I would highly recommend that you add this type of seasoning. I found this at Sam's Club, and I'm sure every other store has it, but it's called Weber's Herb Garden. This adds so much flavor to anything. I've been using it a lot lately, and you just sprinkle it on top as you finish the paella after the olives, and I'm telling you, it will elevate the flavor of anything you're cooking, and it just add this herb mix to the end of whatever you want to fix. I want to talk to you quickly about the different types of paella that I learned about while I was in Madrid. Basically, paellas are cooked over an open fire. And so that smokiness is what gets into the paella and gives it a smoky flavor. The other thing to know is that you can put paellas together with anything you have in your refrigerator. However, there are a couple of things that I learned that I think are important steps. If you're going to make a chicken and sausage type of paella, you want to make sure that you're using chicken broth. If you're going to make a seafood type of paella, you're going to want to use a seafood broth or like a bottled clam juice. And typically you don't mix the two. You don't have chicken and shrimp and mussels and clams like that. You either have chicken on one side or you have seafood on the other side. So make up your mind, and really the differences are going to be in the proteins you use and also in the broths that you use. While in Madrid, we went to a great restaurant called Paella Real, and it was the nicest restaurant that I've been to in Spain, in Madrid especially, but also they had fantastic paella, and we met up with lots of friends and family members over there, and we had a great time having the paella from the Paella Real. They also serve people like the King of Spain has been at the Paella Real. Several popes have been there, multiple entertainers, and they had their pictures up on the wall as we walked through the restaurant. So it's a great place to go if you're ever over into Madrid. It's called Paella Real. All right, so this has rested for a couple of minutes. It needs to really rest for about 5 minutes. And all of these different liquids will continue to soak up in the rice. But as you can see, it's just turning out beautifully. And on the top, just to give it a little more Spanish flair, I'm going to be adding some manzanita olives on the top. Any restaurant you went to in Spain, they had manzanita olives. It's a smaller type of olive, and they are truly fantastic. Nearly every restaurant we went to serves olives with their meals. The one thing I would tell you about manzanita olives is try to look for olives on the jar that are actually from Spain. These happen to be from Egypt, and I can tell you that they taste a little differently than the olives we had in Spain. I think the olives we had in Spain were a little more fresh. So look for that on the bottom of the jar of the olives you get. Hopefully they're from Spain. I want to say thank you for watching this episode. I hope you will cook this simple, easy paella. It's easy to do. I want to thank all of you for watching. This is a great time. Remember to please subscribe to our channel. We are growing and growing and growing, and I appreciate you guys doing that so much. Please invite your friends to watch the videos as well. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the video, and also, if you leave a comment, let us know where you're watching the videos from, as in what city. And we'll be sure to give you a shout out in one of our future videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.